Welcome to the Mega Print on Demand Summit. I am Melissa Reynolds, one of your hosts. This is day 3 of the summit, and we will be discussing how to scale and grow your business. So, are you ready to learn some more about print on demand? I sure am, so let's get started.
Hey guys, this is Monica Busby from E-commerce Kids. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys are learning so much on this virtual seminar. And my topic here is how to develop a teen boss from scratch. There's an opportunity now that school is over to be able to have your kids do something a little different and see if this is something that they love to do. And maybe dive into the family business or create their own POD or their own e-commerce business themselves or business in general, inspire that entrepreneurial spirit. So let's get started. How to develop a teen boss from scratch. Let's see here. Okay, just a little bit of background on who we are. So this is my family. Johnny Busby, been married to him for 21 years, going on 22. Where has the time gone? So he is the first sergeant of an air med squad in the U.S. Air Force, and Jarrell in the middle there. He's now 17. He actually cycled across California and Arizona with me. When he was 14, he started the Amazon business as a homeschool project when he was 12. And now he's graduated high school early at 16 last year. He's now he just finished his first year of college. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh, time flies. And I'm still excited that he still loves to run a business and have a passion. He's actually going to college to get a business degree. So let's go. Let's, hopefully that is something that he will continue and love to do. So my passions are, we love to travel as a family. I particularly love to cycle travel. I challenge myself in Ironman. It's just something that helps me grow as a person. I'm also a cancer survivor, so maybe this kind of triggered like something extreme for me that I wanted to do something crazy. And the last 5 years, I've actually cycled across all the lower 48 US states. I'm just missing Alaska and Hawaii, which is something I want to do very soon, probably in the next year or two. So just been an amazing five years of cycling and at the same time running full-blown e-commerce businesses. That's probably another topic in itself, but we do have 4 e-commerce businesses: RA, retail arbitrage, wholesale, e-commerce kids, and I currently launched a new project, a YouTube blog called thecyclingceo.com. So I'm going to go dive into finding what your passions are and being able to utilize that monetarily and inspire your kids to do the same. Okay, so a little bit of statistics for you on what's going on with teens in the US. I'm very shocked on a lot of these statistics, but 72% actually want to start their own business. Have you asked your kids or noticed about your kids that they're showing some entrepreneurial um, uh, things that they're doing, like maybe they're asking questions, or maybe they're inspired by what you're doing, maybe they want to participate in your business, but you haven't really thought about it, seriously thought about it. So 72% want to start their own business. 55% are pressured by their parents to find a career in high school, but are not getting the help. I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, I had no idea what I wanted to be. But I knew my mother wanted me to have some kind of career. I just didn't know what it was. 67% prime concern is fear of failure. Adults, moms and dads. I think it's not just the kids as their prime concern. I think our prime concern is one of them is the fear of failure for our kids too. So they not only are not confused or not wanting what to do in the future, when they get out of high school, but also not afraid of failing. Um, but that, in a way, that's a good thing, right? But to let them understand that that is a good thing, we have to teach them that. But 67% fear of failure, 69% have a business idea but unsure how to start. Per Harvard Business Review, 77% between the ages of 14 21 already have or already making money, and 70% of those jobs are actually considered self-employed. You notice that maybe they're doing a lot of babysitting, right? They're probably doing errands for the elderly, or they're doing maybe Uber, right? Like if they got a driver's license, they're Ubering or Postmating or Airbnb. I mean, there's so many ways for teens to make money without just trying to work at a Starbucks. So um, they're getting very creative. uh, Mowing the lawn, having a lawnmower business, or educate tutoring business is big too. So yeah, there's just so many opportunities for them to be entrepreneurial. Okay. So your preteen wants to start a business, or in this case, wanting to be a part of the family business. So one of the things that we want to, as parents, want to understand first, okay, is understanding what their talents are. What kind of personality trait does your kids have? One of the famous personality trait charts is the disc that I have here. It's basically understanding what personality trait do they have, and you can utilize those strengths to build on uh, their business, or to build on the family business. Um, so you could find this online, but it's basically just writing down, okay, what is it that my kids my kids have? Are they results oriented? Are they inspiring, enthusiastic? Are they patient? Are they loving? That would be under the stabilizing section. Are they more cautious? They're very analytical, data driven. um, and the goal actually is to have a little bit of all of this, but definitely you want to pinpoint what are the strongest trait that they have, and then be able to now understand how to communicate in that level. And that's more like getting into like deep into the stuff, but just having a general basic idea of what kind of, and I hope you already know a lot of this stuff, by the way, but what kind of personality trait your kids have that is stronger than the most. Okay. So do this for yourself, and as a for your kid too, for them to see what kind of personality trait they are. So that one. And then, just so you know, okay, laziness and procrastination is not a personality trait. They're actually bad habits. Okay, so don't don't label your kid as being lazy. Okay. I'm actually been a culprit of that myself, and I've said that to myself as well. So just be aware to not label yourself it's it this negatively, because once you start labeling your kids this way, then they'll start believing that. So just be very careful on specifically on these two things, because teens right now, or preteens, they tend to do some lazy bad habits, right? Like not cleaning the room or not doing their chores. But that's okay. A lot of that can be learned, routined, right? Understanding why it's important to do that, not just telling them to do that. So just be aware that that is not a personality trait. Okay. Um, uh, have paper down and then just ask these questions. What are they good at? What are their passions? What is their favorite subject in school? What causes are they passionate about? Create a passion list. I love doing this um, with Jarrell. And this is something that you don't have to do once and then you're done for the rest of your life on what your passion list is kind of like an ongoing thing. um, the more experience you have in life, the more you find passion that you're passionate about certain things. Cycling for me wasn't passionate till like just 6 years ago. So it definitely, your passion list changes for what your priorities are at the moment and what you love, and that's something that it will be great to write down as a family. Okay, so can you turn that passion into a service, product, or content? Okay, so let's do some examples. And there's so many ways. Just at Amazon alone, you probably could find 50 ways to make money on Amazon. But when it comes to the e-commerce world, I mean, that's so vast. But there's a lot. Well, I don't want you to dive into all thousand millions of them. Okay, so for example, let's do some examples. So a competitive son, okay, who loves basketball. Great. So there's so many ways. They could open up a wholesale business and start selling basketballs, basketball equipment, sports equipment, apparel. Uh, I mean, so many products, apps, computer, uh, so products itself that he could sell either on Amazon or building his own website through the Shopify, or it could be under eBay. I mean, it could be under Facebook Marketplace. I mean, there's just so many platforms to sell products nowadays. So just finding out what that is uh, and prioritizing. Okay, so he could go that route. He could also create, if he loves writing as well, he could create a book on basketball. He could create a story about basketball, and then he could sell that as a book on Amazon. POD, right? This is something that this seminar is focused on. Print on demand. Create basketball related T-shirts, or products from your own regular shoes, shorts, hats. So there's just so many opportunities on that theme, basketball or sports and outdoors theme, that he can be involved in. He could create a blog about basketball and make money through there. He could create a YouTube channel. He could create a tutorial on basketball for, let's say, preteens, because they're so different um, in preteen education basketball practices versus high school and college. Create a super niche on that. Um, Another example, outgoing daughter who loves to shop the latest fashion. That's a huge gamut, creating, opening up their wholesale business and selling it, let's say on Etsy or Poshmark, or creating her own fashion line and doing maybe, again, the t-shirt thing, the products, POD thing, um, blogging about it, having her own Shopify, and creating a YouTube channel on the latest fashion trends, for maybe, the teen fashion, or preteen fashion, or women, a young girl fashion specifically. So there's a lot on that aspect. How about a quiet daughter who loves to journal? So many opportunities there. She could create different blank journals that you could sell with very cool themed purposes on it, that you could sell on Amazon, that once you have it up, it's there forever. It's amazing to the opportunities that we have nowadays with less overhead. How about a detailed oriented son who loves chemistry? Again, he could create a blog out of it. He could create a tutorial out of it. He could do like a YouTube version out of it. He could create chemistry related t-shirts out of it, that are funny, that are designed, that could get the inner nerd out of you. So yeah, it's just the whole gamut of just finding out what that passion is. And kids, you can't, you have to ignite what they love, or else it's going to be very difficult for them to want to do it. And I think that goes along with us parents too, is that it's hard to do something unless we're really passionate about it. But we did learn how to do things that we're not passionate about, but you also want to, I think, on the long run, to be in love with what you're doing, not just clocking in and clocking out, unless that's what you love to do. So that's a different story in itself. Okay, so at the end of the day, what do they want? Not about you, parents, because I tend to kind of like influence a lot of what I want my son to do. But at the end of the day, the goal is to help them to start independently think for themselves and to let them understand the bigger picture, not just a one-sided perspective. Let them get educated on what their passions are. And maybe they just don't know what their passions are yet. And that would be a great opportunity for them to experience new things. So the goal is to do what they want and what they love. And it's not about us parents. Okay. All right. So introducing them to winning and failing a lot. Even till this day, honestly, who doesn't like it? Who doesn't, you know, who loves failing, right? I hate failing. It sucks, but it is part of life and it is going to happen. So you might as well, hopefully, have them fail now as many times at a young age with support versus, getting in real trouble as an adult. So just having, and then being able to understand what that is and come out of it a better and stronger person. Did you know that in ages 1 and 7, we solidify our beliefs already? I was like blown away by that because, I'm in my 40s already and I'm like, wow, my beliefs are solidified when I was age 7, and I'm making choices through my beliefs now. That's probably kind of scary, right? You want to be able, you could actually like tweak, unlearn some of that, because honestly, between ages 1 and 7, not not all of those beliefs are actually constructive and productive. So you want to be able to uh, pinpoint what beliefs are actually good for you versus the ones that are not. Okay, so just being able to also teach them that, and then building them that mental toughness, unlearning and reframing negative beliefs and turning them into positive. It's scary, but a lot of teens in high schools are going through, well, obviously they're going through puberty, but they're also going through depression. I think teens versus out of all the ages are probably the most are the ones committing suicide, which is a sad thing to me. But I think it's because they're just really diving into the negativity of what's going on in their life and not having any guidance or understanding what to do with it and how to funnel that into a more positive way. And at that age also, they haven't built the prefrontal cortex scientifically, not till I think after age 25. So they're not even understanding how to make the right choices either. So just be aware of that scientifically their brain is not fully developed. So sometimes I'm like, oh wow, I have to step back because I'm thinking, my kids, they should know better, right? They should know better. They should understand. But in the bigger picture, they haven't developed a lot of that um, choice, the understanding, the know-how. So that this is where we come in, where we could help guide them. Okay. And then what do they say about themselves? So those are the things that we want to be able to guide them throughout this whole business process. So that way they could come into the family business or into being an entrepreneur, having a more solid foundation, because at the end of the day, guess what? The business falls on who, right? It falls on each other individually on how to make that successful business grow. So we have to grow ourselves in order to also grow our business, right? Because that business is part of, um, hopefully part of who we are, right? Part of our passion, but we have to grow our mindset as well. Okay. So coming back to what do they say about themselves? One of the things that I tell my kids, my e-commerce kids, is to come up with 3 words that they could live by. Okay. So, for example, we were talking about lazy, right? You're seeing lazy habits. So instead, turn that around and say, hey, I'm a productive person. So that could be a word that triggers you, like I am productive, or I am efficient, or I am proactive. Okay, so when you start saying these things, and eventually, right, when you start saying these things, eventually it becomes who you are, right? You start doing things that describe that word. It's kind of crazy how that all works, but if you start telling yourself, hey, you are an efficient, reliable, person, um, you're energetic, you're upbeat, like you come up with these positive character traits that you want to live by. That doesn't mean it's who you are, right, at the moment, but it's something that you want to be. um, it takes it up a notch, right? It gives them a more positive outlook, something, a goal that they could strive. All right, so have them come up with 3 words that they could say every day, as part of their affirmation in the morning, or it could be at the end of the night. It could be something that you could you yourself can be more proactive in telling them that that's who they are as a person. Um, when you have family get-togethers and whatnot. Okay, so this is a game changer for me. This truth journaling, very simple to do, but it's so effective, and it's something that probably I would be doing for the rest of my life, because, and hopefully for the rest of my kids' life, because it really brings down what happens in our mind. Okay, so very easy. You get a journal. It could be, even if it's just a piece of paper, and it's something that you can do every day. The goal is to do it every day and understand what you're thinking, because it's going to be the best way for you to fight your mind. Remember, you are learning your beliefs, or you've learned your beliefs at the age of 7. So you want to be able to understand what all those beliefs are, and being able to determine whether it's true or not, right? So let me give you an example here. Okay, so you write down on a piece of paper: situation, belief, and truth. You write down the situation. For example, I didn't finish my homework today. Instead, I spent time watching TV and Instagram. Okay, so that's the situation. Your belief, you wrote down, I didn't care. I didn't want to do what I want. I was also bored from reading stuff I don't really like. Okay, the truth, you write down, well, the truth is I really do care, or I wouldn't be doing my homework in the first place. Right? Life is better when I get things done on time, less stress, and more time to do fun stuff. So you see the process, like you get a bigger picture of what is going on with your belief, but your belief really isn't true in this situation, right? Because the truth, you're finding the truth from that belief. Okay, so this is a great way to kind of switch your mind to seeing what the truth is versus what your mind is saying. So scary, right? Like being able to realize that your mind is, sometimes it's so embedded with deep beliefs that it's hard to unlearn. And these beliefs make you decide what it is that you want to do in life. So it's very, very important, right? How to make decisions for your business, how to even make better relationships, how to deepen your family relationship, your family bonding. All of this stuff dives deep into what you believe individually. So if your kid can understand this now, oh my gosh, you know where they could be when they could understand and fight their beliefs sometimes, um, and see the truth out of it. So to me, this is like the golden nugget on how to develop as a person and to develop the business. So okay, so now other things to tackle in. Okay, what are they grieving? I know that's such a taboo subject sometimes, especially for my Asian parents family. For some reason, we don't talk about what makes us sad, but it is very, very important, especially during this time. With the whole pandemic, with what's going on in the world, it's just so, it's crazy, but it's so important to be able to be open and understanding, like what they're sad about, what's going on in their life. It's just being somebody to listen to versus just telling them, oh, this is the solution, this is the solution. Men, be careful with that, right? I know you love being problem solvers most of the time, but it's so wonderful to be able to have your daughter, be able to sit down with your daughter or son and just be able to listen a little bit, and just being there as a comfort versus figuring out how to fix the problem right away, because sometimes they just need somebody to talk to. All right, so too busy of schedule. That's kind of scary, because I know us parents nowadays, it's like, we want to have them in a karate class, we want them in a basketball team, we want them, and then on top of that they're going to school full time, and then now you want them to run a business. uh, can we be able to juggle that as adults? um, so just be aware of overwhelming your kid um, with a super tight schedule and not letting them breathe, because at the end of the day they're gonna get burnt out. you know they're human beings also. So just having them have some time for some playtime, scheduled play dates with their friends, uh, is always good. Stress is huge. It's great to talk about, especially going through, of course, what's going on with the world. Um, just being open to have conversations with your kids is so good. So all of this stuff, believe it or not, makes a huge difference in how you're going to run a family business, because you guys have to be able to work together, right? And live together and be happy doing it. So just being able to understand each other's personalities, each other's passions, being great, having grace on what's going on with their life and how they're doing emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So many things to tackle, but just being mindful about all these things. Okay. Success begins at home, right? Everybody's saying, all these, the cops, the teachers, the legislators, even down to the government, whatever party we're at, you know, it all boils down to us taking care of what's in the home at the end of the day. You know, it's definitely not the internet, okay? It's not the TV. Um, we want to be able to positively impact our kids, and to know that they're not perfect as well, and that to love them no matter what. Okay. You are parents, integral part of their life, not just their business. Okay. Um, oh, we were able to, this is my e-commerce kids family. We were able to help um, teens, preteens build $20 million of product sales over the years. I'm so excited about what's going on, and the family's growing. And this is information about us. So I hope that you've learned just a little bit inkling on how to figure out what your kid loves to do. being able to bond with them the more, and then being able to show them a whole different world of how to be an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, whatever they're going to do in life, having those entrepreneurial skills is also going to build on what their career is going to be, whether it's running a business or working for somebody, if that's what they want to do. Those entrepreneur skills are so valuable, and it's great to be able to um, be the one, be the influence, and not just the outside world. All right, guys. So I hope this helps. You guys have an amazing day and keep learning and keep unlearning. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Wow, that was some great information. I hope you took lots of notes. The recording of the session will be up until midnight, but if you want to see the recordings after that, you can get our All Access Pass, which includes the recordings from all of the sessions by clicking the link below. Don't forget to share this link with anybody that's interested in starting their own print-on-demand business.